Good morning. We're going to talk to you today about the ups and downs of life, those waves that keep coming up and then going down, you see. We want to use the analogy, really, Robin was thinking about it, when she used to take her kids to the water park and there would be one of those wave pools that created waves, yeah? There would be certain humans that would go way to the front and they could not get enough of it. And they would battle these waves and be thrown about and force their way up there, really struggle to keep in the front where the big waves were. And then there would be others that perhaps they are just setting their feet in. They're going in just a little bit, not too far, because this is where their comfort zone is or where they feel the best, you see. Now, we're not going to tell you that the ones that are up in front getting battered about aren't thrill seekers, aren't enjoying their experience. For the most part, they are, you see. But they are a little bit afraid. They are a little bit on edge. This is how they are living as they are doing it. And so we wanted to use this analogy so that you could really understand that you as a human are choosing what part of the wave pool you want to be in the life experiences that you are determining how you feel about them, you see. We had a little conversation with Dave, and we always laugh a little bit. He is a nice, big news reader. He likes to read the news, you see. And he oftentimes runs to the front of the wave pool. He wants to tell everybody how things have changed. He wants to talk about all the negativity that is in the world, how people are stealing things from stores and not paying for them, and how it was when he was younger, you see. He's getting battered up a little bit up there in the front of that wave pool, because what happens then, it's not about the experience of whether it is right or wrong. He just happens to be confronted by or encountering lots of situations like this that aggravate him, you see. So you have this choice as a human. Where do you want to be in that wave pool? Because you are picking and choosing not about right and wrong, but about what you will attract to yourself in the experiences that you judge as right and wrong. You as one have so much power in your decision to align to something that makes you feel happy, that makes you feel joyful, that makes you realize your contribution matters. But if you continue to jump in that pool and move to the front with the others that are being battered about, you will experience more battering or more people that are doing things or emulating something back to you that you would prefer not to see, you see. It's really difficult for a human ever to get beyond this rightness, this wrongness, this good and bad. But we want to explain to you that particularly in certain age groups, we would say in your 55 and up, let's use that example, that you were raised during a time where there was a lot of control. This was the means for getting humans to be in line or to behave in ways that you are now deeming as the right way, you see. We're not here to argue right and wrong. We're just simply explaining to you the times or what it is that occurred, you see. And so this perception of you watching others being told how to behave and what is the right and wrong way to behave, and then viewing them as doing things the right and wrong way, yes? This has caused your perception or your belief to grow into a large mass consciousness stream that your age group very easily falls into or is a part of, because it is part of your belief system. It's part of the way that you perceive. And as others decide to join in that perception, it actually widens that band of consciousness and makes it easier and easier for you to fall into and others to fall into, you see. So when you decide in your sovereignty as a single creator, what it is you will emanate and how you will focus, even in the face of something that is not of your choosing, you're creating another opportunity, another stream of consciousness where then others like you can follow you, you see. This is your contribution to all that is and to the life you're living. So it's a win-win, really, when you do it this way. Don't jump into that stream of consciousness because you perceive and believe from your past life, present life, and lineages that everybody else is wrong, that everybody else is bad, you see. Because you're creating sovereignly, and that emanation will come back to you individually. And it will be added to the whole and stretch that mass of that part of consciousness bigger so that it actually becomes more dominant on the earth, you see. But you can just pull your toe out of that pool and stick it into a new pool of where you decide by that experience what you prefer. Maybe you do prefer things like the good old days, where people paid for their merchandise, where they offered respect, where they drove the right speed, where they opened doors out of kindness and returned the carts for people. Perhaps this is what you loved. But you have moved away from what you love in your focus on what you don't love. And you're not seeing much of it, you see. You have to understand this cyclic wave of which your world is influenced by. You're going to constantly be having these rifts or tides that come up and go out. But you are the one that gets to decide the water that you are in, the level of calmness that you have, the beautiful life that you choose. This will be the wave that you experience. All of the tumultuous waters can be going on all around you, but there's always a quiet bay you can pull into if you look for it. Remember that your contribution matters, that right and wrong is only being added to as you judge it so. You are not making the world a better place by opposing the place that you see it in. You will make the world a better place by choosing to see it as though it already is, you see. This is the only way you get change. Robin was pondering this question, and oftentimes when she does, an answer comes to her. And she had the thought come back to her. Look back way in time, the time of the settlers when they were moving across to different areas to settle. People were mutilated, gunned down, raped, stolen from, beaten, all the way across the globe as they moved. And this is yet another example of what you would deem a good time or a bad time. And everybody became focused on it and upset by it and fearful of it. And that bandwidth widened. That stream of consciousness during that time widened. But eventually that wave reaches the top, and then others decide they want to make a better life. They want to be more peaceful. They want some law involved. They want some structure involved in order to smooth that out or make that less difficult. Let's use that term. So we want to explain to you that there's nothing horrific happening here. This is a pattern or a way that life is. And that through someone's desire, and everyone's desire, that wave will start to rise, and then it will reach a point of intolerance, of people not wanting that type of experience. And then they will start to apply their focus on aligning and what they do want. And then they'll start to come down the other backside of that wave, and it'll start all over again, you see. But you don't have to be part of that wave pool. You can decide just to stay in the middle, just to allow people that like to go to the really violent, wavy part of the pool, and those that barely stick their toe in at the beginning part of it. And you can be okay with all of it. And in this way, you can be in this comfortable spot where you are just sloshing from side to side, and you're not getting rattled, and you're not getting bored out of your mind either. This is a good place to be, a good creative spot to be, you see. We just thought we would use this analogy of the wave pool because you have to understand that when there are strong desires in one direction, it goes up. And when they reach the top and there's intolerance of that climb, it starts to come back down, you see. And you have to decide where you want to be. Do you want to continue to ride the wave with everybody else and determine that their life and the way they are living it is right and wrong, and therefore be drug along in that violent water? Or do you want to decide, I get to pick and choose how I'm going to feel? I can look away from that experience and find something that I want to focus on, that I'd like to see in my life and in the world. And in that way, I can make the most beneficial change that I could ever make, instead of the biggest mistake that I could ever make, by joining the masses and letting them be the creation of me. You came here to create sovereignly. You came here to create by yourself. You came here to determine on your own terms what you want to see in the world. And when you're focused on someone else's sight, in your distaste of it, you inadvertently have joined them in it. Good day.